lifestylers.
They have all the same concerns. Some of them are even more enthusiastic about their blocks than a lot of the farmers we deal with. They want to know how to get rid of these weeds and how to stay safe and stop using chemicals and the food quality and the whole process that runs through. The whole cost of someone doing that soil sample and following this process through, it's very expensive. We can do a DIY soil test. We can actually go through this process as quickly as possible to make it financially viable for people to look after their lifestyle block. Is there's so many have come through town, they don't understand the concepts of trucks, delivery, spreading and all these different things. So we thought we best do a video, try and explain as much as we possibly can so people feel more comfortable about the process that they can get on and progress without emptying their bank account.
Okay, lifestylers. It's one of those topics that's pretty important to people that move out into the country or maybe have aspirationally got themselves into a position with a block and they want to really look after it. What's the concern there for them?
Well, look, they have all the same concerns, and some of them are even more enthusiastic about their blocks than a lot of the farmers we deal with. And they want to know how to get rid of these weeds and how to stay safe and stop using chemicals and they're really enthusiastic about the food quality and the whole process that runs through. And it has issues when you're dealing with smaller blocks, when you do a soil sample and then the whole cost of someone doing that soil sample and following this process through, it's very expensive. So we've put quite a bit of effort into making it that we can do a DIY soil test. We can actually go through this process as quickly as possible to make it financially viable for people to look after their lifestyle block. And what's happened with that is there's so many have come through town, they don't understand the concepts of trucks, delivery, spreading and all these different things. So we thought we best do a video, try and explain as much as we possibly can about how this works and so people feel more comfortable about the process that they can get on and progress without emptying their bank account. And one thing that I am really vociferous about with our bigger clients, as with these guys, it really pays to do a soil test. If you really want to know, people go, I don't want to pay for that. I just want to just put some stuff on. And I go, well, it won't work unless we get it just the same as we do on the bigger picture. We have to get it right to make it work for you. So right at the start, a lot of the people that have bought lifestyle blocks are a bit financially constrained, just like all of us. They got mortgages and bits and pieces. But if you are going to go down this track, you might as well be accurate from the start because it will save you money as you go forward. And I know it's hard at certain times. But I've only got 3 acres. I don't need a soil test. And going, but if I sell you a brew that's missing 2 ingredients and it doesn't work, well, then the brew has been wasted and the whole process falls over and then my name's mud. And for them to grow really healthy food, it's really important to get it right.
Okay, so you're really distilling years of knowledge as a farmer and with your expertise in soil and the minerals and things that grow great soil to help the people who are arriving at that lifestyle block thing going, all right, I've got some issues, I need to resolve them, but I'm not a career farmer, help me out.
That's right. And we have to do it in a cost-effective and quick and easy manner that the clients can see what's going on. They're not going to get the attention that a bigger farmer gets because it just doesn't, it's not cost effective. You cannot do it. So what we're trying to do is to get this knowledge across to people that are enthusiastic, how they go through the process, do a soil test, get the information back, get this, their little block humming along really nicely. And they can watch all the other videos and all that sort of stuff so they can skill themselves up along the way.
I can just hear lifestylers everywhere going, oh, thank goodness, someone's finally got something for me.
Yes. Well, I mean, the horror stories I've heard along the way, it's just, oh, God, Bennett. And so, having to answer all these questions and that over and over again because they're so enthusiastic with it, right, let's get this sorted out. And so if we look at the video or the picture that we got up here, that's a lifestyle kit that's been delivered to the farmer, to the little lifestyle block. So it's got a self-testing, it's got the plug in it, and it's got the instructions about how to take those tests and send them back. It's all got the return forms and everything in it. So it's really cool. Like it just, bang, comes straight back to us. So we can have it back to us within a couple of days, like from the time we send it out, if you're enthusiastic.
So that box on the left there, that's going to be a lot like what you would receive in the mail, maybe?
Yeah, it will come in the post.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So you can fill out the DIY form on the website and that's what you'll get.
Okay. And that's pretty straightforward to take those samples.
Very simple. The instructions are all there. And then just pop it in the bag. You guys send it back to us. We send it off to the lab in the States. This all takes a couple of weeks. And this is really important stuff. So when we get that back, this is the test that we're looking at that you can see on the screen now. This is the information that we require as a business to build something that's suitable for each individual block. If we don't have this information, I'm lost, like as far as really, really understanding what people have got.
And you really are applying the same techniques, technology, and wisdom to the lifestylers here that we saw in a previous video for farmers, right? Because if you go back just 2 videos ago, we're into the soil tests video.
Absolutely.
And you'll recognize it from that.
Totally. And it's so important. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's just the garden or the lawn or the whole process. It's like, holy shit, you've got to get this done, especially if something is relying on what's growing there nutritionally. Animals, they require healthy soils. So, like if you don't want to get fly-blown streep and all these other issues and wormy cattle and all that sort of thing, it's really important.
We can see how you've made correlations in the previous video about how one thing affects another and how those tests give you more than just totals, but relationships to what you're trying to improve.
Totally. And if anybody's really interested, I go back and have a look at the soil testing video.
Okay.
It gives you a lot more understanding of why we're doing and how we're doing this. And that will give some relevance to, the reason for the importance.
Yeah, it tickles me a bit because I know that you give the same level of care to the farmers as you do the lifestylers. It's the same sort of advanced knowledge of making it really hum.
Well, our systems are set up, as you'll see as we go further on, our systems are set up to handle this process.
Right.
And so that's what we do. Is like this is how it works, and this is how it works. Doesn't matter if it's only a little square of soil or 10,000 acres. It's still the same.
Now, am I right in thinking that when we get the results back, this is what is generated out of it? And it's coming up there with examples of silica clay, Probitas, Ecofarm humates. Is this then the mix that you create that's tailored to what they've needed from the soil test?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. When you look at this is like once we go through those soil tests and we'll go, okay, what are we doing here? How big of an area it is? What are we going to need to fix those issues? And then we will put all of those products into that quote and we will send it to the guy the lifestyle that sent in the soil test. It's like, here's what we would apply. Now, part of the kit, so we need information back from them when they start. And you'll see as we go through this process, it's really important to get that information correctly. So when we do this quote, will it be in bulk bags? Will it be in 25 kilo bags? Will it be, have you got a helicopter that wants to put it on or whatever? We need to know because it's relevant for the quote.
Right. Well, let me just go to the next one then, because this takes us back to the shed, right?
This is like what we're walking into, going, what products from that quote do we need? Now, we have to pick those products, mix them. So as we go through this, you'll see that this is a bloody great, pile of stuff.
Oh, it's huge.
Huge. And so we're picking products from that specifically for your property.
Yeah, yeah. And I've the next slide that I've got there just shows from the previous shed tour video, which was only one video ago.
Okay.
You can see the mix that was made up in this case with all of those colors, which are actually really, really important, as I've come to learn, quite important trace minerals, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, in that circumstance with these guys here, there's copper sulfate, boron, nickel, iodine. And so all of these parts, we're going, yep, that's specific. That's what we got to do. We've got to get this sorted. And and we pop it in the bucket and then we go to the next stage.
They're really expensive minerals, aren't they?
Oh,
and they're used sparingly, if I understand right?
Accurately.
That's the best way of putting it.
Yeah, look, when you need them, you need them.
Yeah.
In different parts of the country, copper sulfate at this end, some parts of the country got none. Other parts have got heaps. So this is the specifics. And this is where the costs come in. See, if you've got a soil test and it's got no copper at all, yes, it is an expensive product. But if you want sick sheep and sick animals, don't apply the copper. It's that important. And so these are the important parts of the whole process.
I would just say, referring back to the shed tour, which shows how it's all mixed up, that video just one back, you see how the end result is a large, dark combination that then is packaged up and sent out. It doesn't obviously remain looking blue and white and green like that.
No, it disappears pretty quick.
It disappears into what looks like soil,
yes.
you know. But anyway, I just think that's an important part of the process to understand, and do refer to that if you want to have an in-depth understanding of it.
Yeah, totally. I mean, if you're a lifestyler, I mean, the videos all pertain exactly through to you. The soil test one gives you a much more in-depth process about why we do what we do, but the DIY is separate for you guys to go out there and do the sampling yourself, and you save money to start with.
Yeah, now I'm just going over to this slide which shows part of the process as it's meted out into the bags. Is that right? Or?
Yeah, well, what happens is it runs up that long conveyor and into our mixing bowls.
Right.
And so these smaller mixers, they all get run through that mixing bowl, and then it conveyed through the screening, and you'll see in the next, this is what we call bulk bags. And most people are unaware of like, oh, well, how does it come? And go, it's a bulk bag. And they go, well, what's that? And going, we need to do a video.
Yeah, it's a very big bag.
It is.
That. Yeah. Yeah.
And like you can see, this is only a third full, and it's 600 kilos.
Oh, that's some hefty. Okay, so then the issue becomes, right, for the lifestyler, it becomes, how do you maneuver it? How do you receive it? How do you spread it?
That's the number one thing, is like you need to know what you're going to do when you've already got to organize yourself and going, well, if I'm going to go down this track and buy this product, I need to know when I put the forms in how I'm going to get the product and how I'm going to get it spread. Sorry,
I can't help but laugh, because there'll be farmers who, because they follow you on your channel, they'll be laughing, going, I deal with this all the time.
Yeah. Well, it's stuff that other people don't. And, we go through issues with some farmers don't have bays to drop fert, so they get the fert contractor to come and get it. So we'll see. So all of these things have been accounted for in certain processes.
What are we looking at here on this one?
Okay, so when it comes down to, this is the smallest package thing that we will do for a lifestyling brew. We will put it in
a whole pallet is the smallest packaging?
No,
or the individual bags within that pallet?
The individual bags.
Gotcha.
Okay, and so what we've got going on there is like, that's actually our animal lick, but this is an example of what we will get down to. If the people at the other end are going, look, I've got a hectare, I can't get it any other way that on a trailer or whatever. And so, well, we can put it in a bulk into these bags. It does have a cost, but then there's all sorts of things that don't have a cost with it. So if they're picking it up themselves, there's no transport operators. So everything has toing and froing, really.
Well, funnily enough, speaking of transport operators, have a look at this one.
Yeah. And this is the sort of guys that turn up at our yard to take the stuff away. And now the big issue is, when it gets to you as a client or a lifestyler, how are you going to unload it? What are you going to do? Can it even get up your driveway? Is there anywhere?
Do you have a driveway?
It's like, is there anywhere we can stop that's safe for the truck driver to drop it off? Now, a lot of the guys that we use, they go, oh, okay. So they have friends in town or they work in town. They go, oh, yeah, I'll ask so-and-so and we'll get it delivered there and dropped off. And they go and put it on their trailer and take it home.
Okay.
And so a lot of the really small ones, like the 1 hectare, 2 hectares, or up to 3 hectares, 4 hectares even, they'll get it and delivered to a town address, and they'll go and pick it up on their trailer and take it home.
Okay, that makes sense. So that you're seeing lifestylers actually kind of negotiating with the delivery people as to a drop-off spot they can liaise with.
You've got to do it from their end.
Okay.
We can't do it from our end. We need...
fair warning, it's like not Ecofarm's sort of responsibility to resolve your personal logistic issues. You've got to sort of work with your delivery people.
Absolutely, because like if you want it dropped at a particular yard and we bring up Ecofarm, oh, it's Ecofarm, we're going to drop some product for so-and-so, and they go, well, I don't know who you are, and no, I'm not going to do that. It's got to come from the client at their end to go, oh, yeah, John at the building company we know that's built our house, he said, that's fine, we'll we'll unload for you because we've got a forklift and we'll just hold it here until you come pick it up with the trailer.
Okay, so this isn't too daunting for the lifestyle? This isn't too hard to organise?
No,
that sort of thing?
No, it's just utilising the people that they know or the ability, to get these guys on site. Or even to the point of some of the trucking operators have a depot in town.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go to them, oh, well, who's the transport operating you used into this? We're going to this company. They have a depot at so-and-so. They have forklifts and everything. Oh, cool. I'll get it to go there and I'll come in on, pick it up and I'll put it on my trailer.
Okay, just give me a brief rundown of the order of events here. Soil test, a recommendation, order made, order agreed on and sent out.
Yes.
Now engage with delivery people.
That's right.
Now, at that point, how many phone calls take place to sort out this sort of place to stop, etc.?
The instructions should come when they send the soil samples back on the forms.
Okay.
So, like, to give you an example, like we go up Northland and we use Ecofarm general carriers most of the time because it suits with us. They have a depot in Whangarei, or they will drop off at places on their run all the way up there, all the way to Kerikeri sort of thing.
Okay.
So if you've got someone that's got a forklift or ability to take it off, and it's pretty much on the main trunk line, you've got a delivery point. And from there, you've got to grab it from there and take it home. Now, if you're a reasonably sized lifestyle block, there's 4 or 5 bags, you might go, oh, I'll get a spreading guy to come and spread it for me, send it to him.
Okay. That cuts the whole process out. They don't have to come to your place to get the stuff to put it on their truck.
That's right. The Ecofarm pull in, we throw the 5 bulk bags on.
Yeah.
They take it to the spreading operator. He puts it off and puts it in his stuff, and he goes to your farm and spreads it.
Okay, that's pretty straightforward. So I note that the next slide is the delivery checklist. There's probably a logical point to do this because it almost sounds complicated, but I think when people do this with a bit of thought, it has a nice logical flow to it.
Totally. So when the products turn up, whatever delivery, you need either a forklift, or a truck or a tractor to lift it off, and you need an area that the trucks can turn around in.
And a friendly one.
Friendly neighbours can be freaking useful.
Oh, I bet.
They can be amazingly useful because a lot of these guys go, oh, I've got a really cool neighbour. He'll probably do it. And you go over and say, well, how much will you charge me for dropping some bulk bags off and spreading my fit? Because a lot of them are right next to bigger farmers. They've got all this gear. And we get this quite regularly. Oh, yeah, Bill's really cool about that. He's fine. Send it to this address and tell me when it's coming, and it'll turn up and Bill unloads it and he spreads it for them.
So just looking up there at the tractor there, you might be a lifestyler who doesn't have a tractor, and fair point, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Or the tractor that you have on your lifestyle block hasn't got the hope in hell of lifting those bags up.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
So I think now is the moment where we dispel a couple of myths. Okay. And that might be what you don't utilize for spreading if you're a lifestyler, more than likely.
Absolutely. I mean, look at this. This truck here, we put 14 tons of material on in 40 minutes.
Whoa.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's serious. Okay. And so when you're looking at this is not really a likely outcome for a lifestyle.
No, it is not. You may not even have that much land.
No.
And probably, I hazard a guess, just not a spare helicopter in the backyard.
No, they're expensive.
Yeah. and by the hour. Yeah.
They're very expensive. Yeah.
Okay. So let me think. I suppose the next thing to do is just cover off the 3 things there that are unlikely to pop up.
Oh, totally.
Okay, Here we go. We'll move across to it. Number 1 is a dog that is this inquisitive. Number 2 is a helicopter. And then just in case you needed it, an aeroplane. You had to put that in there. That's great.
Oh, yeah. Look, and this is the sort of things that we're dealing with in bulk quantities. Like where the plane was, he was putting on 90 ton of fert.
Yeah.
He did it in 3 hours.
Wow.
Okay. And so this is the context that we're living in. I mean, we're dealing with people that are doing seriously big numbers. That's 3 truck and trailer units of product that went on through that plane in 3 hours.
A professional farmer doing his normal thing.
Yeah.
This is not what the lifestyle is dealing with.
No, and that's the issue that I'm trying to, get across. This is all well orchestrated, well organized, And, like the trucking companies, they go, like the flying one there.
Yeah.
In Tarata, there's a big strip and they've got a great bin they can get to, but there's only a particular type of truck that can get up in there.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. The longer trucks can't go. So we have to know where we have to drop the product, what has to be done, how it gets there.
So to some extent, the lifestyler may have challenging locations that they live in, and a little bit of that thinking is required, but we're giving much, much smaller packages, so that shouldn't be too hard.
Totally. And it's just got to change concepts of like, let's go back down from helicopters and planes to the concept of
what we have here.
What we like to have here. Now, the spreading truck, we do a lot of small lifestylers, horse blocks and that, using that.
Yeah.
And they carry 5 or 6 tonne at a go. And if they put a trailer on, they can take up to 15. So they can, if you've got a reasonable size block, like 10 hectares or whatever, they're brilliant. They can come to us, we can load them, and they can drive out and spread your fert. You don't even have to touch it.
But that's still, I mean, looking at that, that's still for some people, oh, gee, I've got to hire a big old contractor. Their delivery might not be that big, right?
No. So then we get the oh, well, I can borrow the tow behind our spreaders.
Yeah.
Now, that's fine, but...
Oh, that's right. You were telling me about this.
We need to know when we make the quote what you're spreading it with, because it makes a difference in our cost. Like, we know that one product that's cheaper will go through the spreading truck, but it won't go through that little spreader there.
Let's get a close-up on that. So this little red spreader behind the quad bike.
Yeah.
By the way, is it typically quad bikes that are doing that, or do you have little cars doing that?
Oh, people use all sorts of things, but particularly,
okay.
Yeah, quad bike.
So that quad, that little red distributor device, listen to me sounding professional, not knowing what I'm talking about, that actually won't cut it for certain consistencies and grades?
Totally.
Okay.
And so this I say, like, there's so many things that we need to know as the stuff, there's the quote, the samples come in. For us to do a quote, we need to know what form of spreading you're going to do.
You gave me a rudimentary example of this the other day. Is it the wet stuff or the dry stuff that doesn't go out of that properly?
The cheaper silicon product that we use in the bulk trucks won't go through that.
Ah.
And so you may be saving yourself money with the spreading by using that, but I can't give you the lowest priced product. I just can't do it. I just get sworn at.
But you would want to give the lowest priced product if you couldn't, it worked.
We quote the lowest priced product all the time until we know that it's not going to work.
And then you go, okay, you're only using one of those, then it's going to have to be something different.
It's going to have to be, and that, those planes and that helicopter, they have to have that product.
Okay.
Otherwise, it won't flow through their equipment.
Yeah, it'll get gummed up or something.
Yeah. And
right.
So there's jobs that we have to get absolutely right.
Just covering off the belt spreader then, if you don't mind. I mean, the shovels make a lot of sense. We laugh about that because anyone can grab a shovel. But hey, I mean, you're keeping it real, right?
Oh, look, be realistic about it. We did our lawn a month ago with the shovel.
Right.
Paula drove around and I shoveled it off. I mean,
sure.
It's not exactly perfect spreading.
That said, though, you've got a tractor.
Yeah, but I would have got stuck in order to crash the tractor.
Yeah, right. Okay, so just covering off this belt sander there.
Yeah. Now, those sort of things, they can handle a cheaper product. And this is where the farmers come in. A lot of these...
Belt spreader, sorry.
Belt spreader. A lot of farmers have got it. And if your next door neighbour or a guy down the road, if you've got a friend, he might be quite happy to do that for you. I can't guarantee it. I don't know, but like a lot of people do.
Right. No, that's fair. Well, then... And if you've got a friend down the road, they might do this for you as well.
Yeah.
Oh, good start.
Oh, yeah. So this is what I'm talking about. Like, this is equipment that's set up to spread our own product at home.
Yeah.
And away we go, but I've got 3 tonne in the back of that.
Yeah, that's quite a lot. Is that the way that really dusts up like that? Is that sort of speaks back to the different type of spreader you're using, right?
No, there's variants in products. Like I had a little bit of dolomite and lime in there this year, and so it was a slightly dustier product.
Right.
And they vary a bit, but that's just the nature of what the products you're making for each individual process. Now, this is a slightly different brew for just outside Tiara.
I've noticed it's darker.
Yeah, there was less lime in it. So,
okay.
So this is just an example of this guy came into the shed and he did half of a 60-hectare block, and he had a trailer on as well. We loaded him up. It's gone. The farmer didn't touch the product. The spreader comes in, and he goes around the farm, goes up to his truck. It conveys it into his truck, what's in the trailer, and then he goes and does the rest of it. So in this case, the farmer hasn't got a spreader, doesn't want a spreader. He just thinks, it's worth paying the contractor to come and do the job. He picks it up. There's no other cartage. So it's simple, They rock up at a shed and away it goes.
Oh, that's cool. Well, that sort of takes us through to the end of how this all works.
Yeah, it does. And so this is the whole process, is that I just want to make sure that everybody lifestyle is going through in exactly the same process as a bigger farmer, and got to take into...
But scaled for their needs.
Yes.
Right.
And so sometimes you've got to use a bit of muscle if you're going to do it in 25-kilo bags.
I get that you're really just resetting expectations a bit.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'm so well aware of cost constrictions and all that. And we're just trying to be realistic about this whole process.
Yeah.
We're not going to come to a 4-hectare farm to do a soil test because it's another $350 straight away, just to get the guy on the land and do the test and whatever.
Okay, and that's why you send out the kit to them directly. It's so much cheaper.
So much cheaper. And the other thing is the response time now is that it comes back, we can actually deal with this. And if we've got really good information that comes from the client, I can actually sit down, whoever's doing it, and go, okay, we need to do this, brew. We send the quote out, and then at that point, if there's any questions from that client, then there's a phone call. Up until then, there's no point to make a phone call. Everything should be automatic until you've got the quote, and then they go, I want to have a discussion, or they accept the quote and say, yeah, that's fine. It will come in those bulk bags. We know how it works, and blah, blah, blah. And that's why the reason I've done all these videos, because it just allows people's expectations to be met. Okay, God, I know how it works now. Had no concept before. And then, just yesterday that happened. There was a lady who had done a quote for a reasonably big block. She needs a whole truckload.
Wow.
But she said, well, how do I spread it? And Paul said, there's a video on the way.
And here it comes. I hope you're watching.
Yeah.
Well, look, I got to say, I think this is a real superpower leg up advantage for people at home in a lifestyle block that want the same wisdom, techniques, knowledge, expertise that you can offer farmers, and in a scalable way. So that's really cool.
Totally. And the big thing is, if you follow the process, it'll happen a lot faster. A lot of people would say, I wanted to speak to Ewan about this, and people go, it won't happen because first
you don't have that much time.
No, I haven't got that much time, and you won't trap them down. So, but but if you follow the process, you'll get a better result.
Okay, and the process starts with being here.
Yeah, and go online, check out what we've got, look at the other videos, feel comfortable about what you're doing.
Cool, and everything you need is at Ecofarm Aotearoa.nz.
Yeah, EFA.nz.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's the easier way of doing it.
Yeah, it's the way.
All right, cool. Well, we'll see you all in the next one.
Cool as.